Hey, hey. Guys, I was having the time going through and getting my lives together. So for some reason, my webcam and Restream, the computer, we're not getting along this morning. So sorry I'm late. But hey, happy Tap In Tuesdays. I'm so happy to see you guys. So happy to be here again with another installment of this conversation. Like I said, you're in Tap In Tuesdays with your host, Tanisha Asha York Allen, and I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to chat. I'm happy to help you guys get centered for the week, right? And so this week in Tap In Tuesdays, I want to talk about the 12-week year. I am loving it, loving it. I've seen like some of the things in the universe and in the world, the internet streets, that some people are reading the book or have read the book or are implementing the process and the strategies in their business and their lives. And so because we're in the beginning of a new quarter, I figure what better topic than the 12-week year, right? 12-week year strategy and concept. So let me start with my introduction. Hey guys, I am Tanisha Asha York Allen. I am the founder and CEO of Your Other Mind. We are a coaching and strategic operations consulting firm. And, I'm a coach, I'm a mentor, I'm a consultant. That's it. That's plain as day. So let's talk about the things. Um, in the world of Your Other Mind, with our members, with our clients, we have always been what we have in our community is called Elevate Your Quarter. That's what we call our 12-week year, where every year, and this is our Elevate Your Quarter week in our community, but every year, every quarter, we go through and we plan for the quarter ahead, right? We plan all of our ideas, we get things organized, we put down the best plans. And the reason why we call it Elevate Your Quarter is because something happens when you can focus your energy and focus your awareness into a moment. And because we're in business for a year, something even before I read the 12-week year book or even realized that that was a whole thing, my mind just instinctively said it's easy to set your targets and your sights on something when you can take it in bite-sized chunks. And because we firmly believe that, and we believe that awareness is key, the thing that we taught our clients to do was lean into what it means to be more focused, right? And so the Elevate Your Quarter idea was born out of that. And then we found the 12-week year, which just confirmed everything that I was already teaching and giving. And so if you haven't heard of the 12-week year, you could read the book or you can tune in here and we can just talk about it. But basically, you could look at the whole year. There are a lot of beliefs that we have in the business community, in the coaching community about cycles, right? Cycles of business that say, okay, the first quarter is this quarter, and this is what it means. Money is really flowing. By the second quarter, things are really flowing. By the third quarter, things kind of die down because of school. And then by the last quarter, everybody's trying to save money, right? And in the world of mine, we tend not to really lean too much into what people are saying the trend is, right? Like I teach my clients to practice submitting to their own beliefs, to their own ideas, to their own energetic frequencies and concepts, because they're going to get better results that way. And if you can take yourself out of the collective idea of like, this is how business goes, what you'll find is that you'll narrow in on what you actually want to experience, what you actually want to create for yourself. And because all of your attention is focused in on that moment, right, you'll have a better success rate at getting, amazing results. Because in traditional business, traditional capitalism, we're taught to, project only 10 to 15% growth year over year, not to go too far past that. And in my universe, we go past it all the time. It's actually pretty regular that my clients exceed whatever the normal statistics are of growth. And so I say all that to say that when you can focus in on a chunk of time, in our world, awareness, spirit, and energy trumps, anything, right? It amplifies everything that we're doing. But when you can zero in on a small piece of time, um, what you can find is that you will force yourself to become more strategic. And because you're forcing yourself to become more strategic, you are putting out different types of results, right? Like you're going to show up to the workplace different. You're going to show up to what you're doing different. And what you'll find is because your energy is not no longer focused on this, ambiguous space of time, 12 months, that your ability to deliver results is more focused and more honed in, and it can be more refined, and it can be more amplified, and a lot of times it can be easier, right? And so if you haven't stuck to the concept of what it might look like to take your focus off of the whole year and just into these micro moments, it's going to be a good time to do so. Another reason why it's a good time to do so is that it takes about, the statistics that float around is like takes 21 days to master a new habit, right? Well, that's kind of like a myth, Loki, right? It takes about 60 to 90 days to solidify a new neural pathway, which if you're new to my world, neural pathways is like the brain, right? When the brain makes decisions about what it's going to do and what it'll let itself do, it takes about 60 to 90 days for those new ideas to be solid pathways that your brain is going to choose. So right now you think that like, I'm not executing on my business strategy, I'm not executing on my sales strategy because I'm afraid, right? Well, the only reason why you're afraid is because your brain has practiced and has cemented certain ideas and pathways of thought that tell you that it's scary and that things should be feared, right? And so what you do in a 90-day cycle or a 60 to 90-day cycle of changing habits is you change the conclusions that your brain comes to, which means you're strengthening your brain, you're strengthening your resolve, you're strengthening your ability to be consistent or to show up in a way and practice things that feel good to you. And that makes you stronger. That makes you a better business leader. That makes you a better employee. It makes you a better person, right? And so taking time and concentrating your energy into, I'm going to focus on this for the next 90 days, is just a natural human strategy because it focuses in on the way that we as people learn and adapt to new spaces and the way that we adapt to new habits and the way that we adapt to new ideas, right? And so that is going to be very key. It's going to be very important for you to understand that. Like you can make it all about your business, or you can make it about inviting new habits in, new ideas in, so that you can be a better version of yourself to get better results in all areas. Okay. So let's talk about what the 12-week year might look like for you. In this concept, you need to pick a goal. It is important that you pick a goal that you want to focus on, something that you want to target, one goal. And this one goal is going to be the goal that you hone in on and you focus on for the next 90 days. Now, in recommendations, it talks about, picking one personal, one professional. I say for the sake of this live, pick a personal goal. And you want the goal to be something that stretches you beyond your current capacity. Now, what that means is you want the goal to be big enough to scare you, big enough to align with you, but like also somewhat, it's not somewhat attainable, but like big enough where it stretches what you would have to be. And when you pick this goal, I don't want you to pick the goal that seems easiest to reach for. Pick a goal that would inspire new ways of being, new ways of thinking, new ways of doing and existing that would like force you to be new. Because in our world, we know that the results that you get in business have little to do with what you're doing so much versus like who you're being to do those things. And so you want a goal that's going to stretch who you have been historically, who you have been willing to be, how you have been willing to show up, how you're willing to exist, because that goal is going to put you in alignment with your vision for your life, your vision for your career, your vision for your business. You want the two to match. You want the thing that you pick to be so much of just enough of the future version of yourself that you're willing to show up to it every day with excitement, that you're willing to be curious and you're willing to be honest with yourself about what it is you're going after. So that makes sense. So you need to pick a goal, professional or personal. I'm gonna recommend personal, right? In case you have a sales plan or a plan that you don't want to really experiment with changing right now, that's fine. Pick a personal goal and make it something that's worth you stretching for, right? Make it something that's worth you going deeper into yourself, challenging yourself to be different. And that is key because the person that you have been and the person that you are going to be or want to be, they are not the same person. And so, where you think you have a consistency issue, you don't. You have an issue being a different person. You have an issue being a different version of you who is brave and courageous and fearless. And you're going to have to be able to close time and space to make that person real. And that is part of the key. So pick a good vision. And then you want to pick the tactics. So remember I said pick a goal that is so big that it will force you to do other things to support that. Well, your tactics are those other things to support that. So the tactics are like those ideas that you want to achieve in this way, right? The tactics are like this is the action step I'm going to take to do this thing, right? That's what your action steps help you do. And it's important to say that because you want your action steps to be your tactics to be actionable. They need to be both qualitative and quantitative. They need to really say that, okay, if my personal goal is to read 20 books, how are you going to do that in the 90-day span, right? And so one of your tactics might be, um, pick a book once a day. That's an active thing, right? I'm going to do what? I'm going to pick the book. How often? Once a day, right? Or I might read book number one for 30 minutes a day every week, right? Until it's done. And that's how you measure the goal. So you want to pick the goal, then you want to pick the tactics, right? What are the steps you're going to take to make this thing a reality, to let this thing be real in your life, in your business? What are you going to do? And this is where you're committing to saying, I'm going to do this every week, no matter what. I'm going to do this all the time, no matter what. I'm going to do this every day, no matter what. Right. And when you get good at practicing that, right, because you don't want to make tactics every week, you want to make tactics once, um, one time when you set out to do it, something that you're going to commit to doing to get you to that goal. You want to make it one time so that you're doing the same thing over and over and over again. Like most successful people, they don't actively do a bunch of different shit. They do like one or two, maybe four or five things really strategically well that moves them into a state of activation. What I call a state of activation. It moves them into a state of design. It moves them into a state of expansion. It moves their perspective into I'm gonna let myself be ready and gear up. I'm gonna let myself be creative and imagine these steps, these tactics, really get the mind and the body going and the spirit going in relation to this goal. So they need to be things that excite you, that are actionable, that make sense. Okay. Now, once you've gotten your goal, once you've gotten your tactics, you want to be able to track and measure. So in my one of my past lives as a strategic operations uh, area manager or whatever title, I don't remember the title, but one of my past in operations is being able to measure. In strategic operations and continuous improvement, measuring something to the metrics that you set, those tactics, that's key, right? Because that supplies all your data. That supplies and informs decisions going forward. That so being able to pick good tactics, this is why you want to pick the same tactics to work on for the whole 12 weeks, for the whole 90 days. You want to be the same, so that you're measuring against the same data points, right? That you have good information coming in and good feedback coming in that says, yes, these things are working, yes, these things are working, or no, these things aren't working, no, these things aren't working. So if you need to, when you get to the midway point, you can say, okay, well, I'm going to audit this. I'm going to see where this has gotten me. I'm going to see what I've completed. So you want to be able to track and measure your completion steps. You need to be able to track and measure how much of a thing you get done, right? And then when you got it done, what were the results? And you need to be able to sit with this daily and weekly. Weekly on a grand scale, daily on like a, oh my God, let me just check in with myself scale. So if you set goals, if you set things and intentions and actions that you follow through, that you give yourself permission to follow through with the tactics that you chose. As simple as that. Um, and so, yeah, I know I'm getting over, so I just wanted to come and drop this. If you are using a 12-week year, allow yourself to be as successful as possible. Choose your vision, choose your goal very clearly with what you want to see and create in your life. Make it big, make it nourishing, make it um, idealistic, and then create good, solid tactics, good, solid practices, and things that you're going to do that move you closer to this area every single time. And then lastly, get into the habit of measuring and auditing everything that you do, and not to judge yourself, but just to witness the journey. Like I tell my clients all the time, you're practicing being someone different, you're practicing being the best version of yourself. You get to do it at a good pace that feels good to you, that feels aligned for you. And so being able to like have that and give yourself the measurement so you can coach yourself or cheer yourself on to do something different, to do something bigger. There's some dogs in the lobby. Um, that is going to be really important because it strengthens the relationship that you have with yourself and how you achieve and strive after things. So that's my cute little tap in Tuesdays. I hope your week is magnificent. It's great. Like I said, it's elevate your quarter week for me and my clients. But whatever you're doing to prepare for this quarter, enjoy it. Let it be big, let it be grand, and let it be everything you need and more. And don't be afraid to go deeper. And if you want to check us out, join my team, you can see I'm hosting a webinar this week called Purpose and Plan. This is going to be a conversation that kind of gets you on this, right? How do you get your plan and your purpose together? How do you do things that align with you in a way that creates ease? So I hope to see you in my universe. I hope to see you soon. I hope that your week is great and happy quarter two. Peace. Have a good one.